I'm not a very big fan of resumes and feel that they are getting outdated. My personal take on resume is that after 5 years, there would be no resumes. And the only resume you would have is LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile. So I would start off with updating your LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you have a proper headline at the top which says,
welcome everyone. At diaXpora, we are here to empower new international students, young professionals and newcomers to thrive in Australia in terms of personal development, career development and adapting to the cultural change in Australia. And we would love to help you grow. And if you find this episode helpful, you could share it out with your friends who might benefit it from us. We have with us Ethan, who is a student in Macquarie University studying Bachelor of Commerce and specializing in marketing. And we also have Saurabh here, who is a growth leader at Zenzai, co-founder of Impact Circle, and who is very passionate about building communities across Sydney. So yeah, let's just dive into next section of like our conversation, where we will talk more about career advice with you, Saurabh. And Ethan also has his questions about how to get a job in this field and how to break into the market. So we're starting with the first question. Like Saurabh, we have here with us Ethan. As I said, he's a bachelor's of commerce and a specialization in marketing. So anyone who is a fresher, who is studying in uni or just finished his uni, who wants to break into the career or job market in Australia, like what would you recommend for them? What is your advice?
I think the advice is that you need to find ways to differentiate yourself. And one of the ways you can differentiate yourself is by networking and going out and meeting people. Because I feel one of the things that you have to realize that you're in a new country, and in a new country, you don't know anyone. So if I have to know anyone, what will I have to do? I have to go out and meet them. But you have to go out and meet them at the right places. I think one of the places that we just covered in the first part of the episode was startups, the smaller companies, because a lot of the times the startups and the smaller companies are willing to hire international students and people who are on temporary visas. The reason for that is they are not looking for only citizens or permanent residents. They're actually looking for anyone who wants to contribute to building their startup to the next level. And they would in fact want somebody who is more motivated with a temporary visa than who is not so motivated with a permanent residence or Australian citizenship status. And I've seen that with so many students that I've guided on the way, and people always share their stories of how they've joined a startup, how they've joined a smaller companies, and how that meeting somebody at an event helped them to grab a job. And I think that's one of the ways. Mm-hmm. And second way is using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such an important platform in Australia. Every employer, every CEO, every recruiter is on LinkedIn. So one of the best ways for you to do that is reach out to people on LinkedIn with a short message where you can say, hey, Shubham, good to connect with you on LinkedIn. I am working at Zenzai, or for you, you can say I'm studying at Macquarie Uni in marketing and AI, and I would be looking for jobs in similar sectors ahead. Would be good to have a quick chat with you. Now, half of the times people might not reply to you because, everyone has got their own priorities. Yeah. But some people who want to help you would reply back to you by saying, hey, let's talk more. When they say, let's talk more, I think that's an opportunity for you then to say, let's come for a coffee, let's meet for a coffee, start a conversation with a coffee or something like that, which is more casual, and start building a relationship with them. So I think that's one of the things that I have done with so many people in Sydney. That I know more people in Sydney now in my home country than my home country, because I met so many people just over a cup of coffee. I think this is something which we missed in the first part, that I've done around 80 to 90 one-on-one coffee catch-ups in Sydney, which I've also recorded on my website. So every time I meet somebody for a coffee, I would take a snap and I would post it on LinkedIn that I met today Shubham, and I learned these things from Shubham, and it was a really good coffee catch-up. So what you're doing is you're also posting on LinkedIn, but you're learning together with them.
And also with the job market, that's I think this one would be a very recurring question, but also one very important one about how to write your resume. A lot of students, or I've seen a lot of people out there struggle with writing their resume, and I know like they are right now they are using AI like ChatGPT to curate their resume. So what is your advice for students with no work experience, and they just whatever experience they have is the experience that they get back in uni, like doing projects or doing volunteering thing. So should they curate their should they curate their resume based on the job profile, or or should they just write some stuff which they have not done it, like as in like faking something in the resume? What's your take on that?
I'm not a very big fan of resumes and CVs, and I definitely feel that they are getting outdated. My personal take on resume is that after 5 years, there would be no resumes. And the only resume you would have is LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile. So I would start off with updating your LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you have a proper headline at the top, which says that you're a student of Macquarie, current student at Macquarie studying marketing and AI, looking for jobs in this sector, and then put that description in your headlines, put that description in your about section where you can talk more about what you're doing at the moment, where you're studying, what do you want to do in the next 2 years in Australia. Put that there. But if you're also working on your resume, maybe try putting out some volunteering experiences or experience with a club or society. Like if you're in business school and if you're a part of a business society, just put out how you are contributing to that society in a meaningful way. So you might be a marketing subcommittee member, so you worked at an event and you generated these many students coming to that event through your LinkedIn activity. So then it needs to be some meaningful action that you put out on your resume, which really captures my attention. It's just not putting like, I'm a part of this committee. That is not enough. What are you actually doing as a part of that community? Now, as a part of marketing subcommittee, I helped them have 4 events in the last 5 months. And out of those 4 events, we actually added 30 members. There were 30 more people turning up to our events because of different activities. Or you can mention the percentage of people increased by 20-30% because of the activities that I was a part of, and my outreach or whatever you want to do. Yeah. But it has to be a definite action that you mention on your resume, which captures the attention of a recruiter, and help you differentiate. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, that's very curious. I'm very curious about what you said. Like, you think resume would be obsolete in the coming years. And I reckon, like, when you started out, you must have provided your resume to some recruiter and they must have shortlisted you. So it's kind of like the first step to get notified, or I would say get in the eyes of the recruiter. That's the first entry point. And
that is what is changing, Shubham. Nowadays, if you know these things, that networking is one of the biggest entry points to a lot of jobs. Like, I've heard a lot of people just landing at a meetup event and talking to a person, and both people like each other, and all of a sudden there is a job on the hands after a couple of days. So I feel resumes and CV were the entry points maybe 10 or 20 years ago. It's still the entry point. I'm not saying it's not the entry point, but it's kind of going downwards because there are so many people out there on LinkedIn applying for jobs. And as a recruiter, you don't have the time to go through all the resumes one by one. So what you mostly do is maybe filter out by keywords. So a lot of times I would say use the right keywords in your resume. So if you're looking for AI jobs, maybe use certain keywords that your recruiters are looking for those jobs. So one of the tips can be go to the job description of the job you're looking for. So if you're looking for AI, artificial intelligence in marketing, see what are the keywords they're looking for, and do you have those keywords on your resume? And if you don't have, then what can you do to build those skills and add those keywords? Because any recruiter will use AI or keywords to search for things that are on your resume. Nobody will go through your resume line by line. Nobody has got that time. They'll just go through certain things in your profile,
right.
which is different from others. Right?
Well, I think that would help a lot of students out there, and that's a very visionary take on how resume is going to evolve in the coming years. But again, like before we move on towards the next section, Ethan, do you have any questions that you have in mind that you want to ask?
So, hello everyone. So my background is about marketing, and the marketing industry is more interesting because nowadays, AI is combined marketing, right? So I have a question that's in the context of AI supporting like data analysis and also content personalizations. So do you think like the role of insight and the role of content planner will be changed or replaced by AI?
I think a lot of things will get replaced by AI, but it's nothing to be afraid of. A lot of the times people get afraid of AI because they feel, what if it replaces some part of my job? Or what if it replaces most of my job in the near future? The thing that you should be making yourself ready is, what is that which AI can't do? Right?
Yes.
So AI is like a calculator.
Yeah.
One of my mentors, George, with whom I ran the podcast before, he always uses his old analogy where he says that it's like a calculator. You feed some numbers, but you still have to know what numbers to feed. Whenever you prompt a ChatGPT, you need to prompt it in the right way to get the right answer out of it.
Yes.
So if you don't have the skill to give the right prompt, to produce the right answer, you're missing a skill. So I guess that's going to be more popular now, where people know how to use ChatGPT in the right way. It's not just asking any question, but actually asking the right prompt and then getting that information, but definitely getting more popular in the coming days.
Yeah. So what do you think about the most important like skill or mindset, like as a student as me, to learn to adapt in the AI wave?
I would say in the AI world, it's about learning these tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, and then getting connected to some AI experts on LinkedIn. So there are a lot of people around. I'm not an AI expert. I am mostly in sales, so I sell the technology. But there are a lot of people who are directly involved in the AI field. So if you get connected to them, they would be able to give you the live insights from the industry or what's going on a day-to-day basis. But I think skills like learning ChatGPT, getting connected with people who are in the right sector, and then just reiterating those. And some of the things that you might be able to learn will be from your own societies and clubs. So I'm sure you must be having some Macquarie Uni digital AI society, inviting people from the industry that you can connect with on AI.
Yeah. So the keyword is the student has me like learn to how to use the AI and have the mindset that use AI as the tool to support our industry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you share your opinions that can you predict what is in the marketing industry have the AI in the next 3 to 5 years more?
Oh, if I can predict that, then everything will change. It's very hard to predict. Like AI has evolved so much in the last 1 year. It's changing every month. Like I was just having a joke with one of my friends a few days ago. If you go on a vacation for 1 month out of Australia and then you come back and start working on your job, you'll just tend to forget what you learned last month because there's so many new things happening every month in AI. It's hard to keep updated. So I think the best advice is just to keep yourself updated on what's going on in the AI field. It's not going to be same after 3 to 5 years, and it's very hard to predict. Nobody can predict that. And I'm pretty sure the jobs are not going to be the same what you have right now. It's going to be very different jobs. So it's important for you to keep updated. And how do you keep updated? By following the right people on LinkedIn, who are AI experts, by looking into news, like, the different news forums that you have in Australia. And there are so many good companies who produce their own consulting reports, like Deloitte has got their own free reports coming around AI. BCG has got their own consulting reports. So read those reports because sometimes those reports provide you with information around what's happening in AI. And these are free on the internet. You can just go and search for Deloitte AI report in Australia and you will come to know these are the trends ranging in AI.
Yeah, so I think the core value is about flexible, right?
Yeah, and also in the coming years, like as we are seeing, like now the AI shift is gonna be more towards the agentic models, where the agentic models will be able to perform tasks like a human does. So probably they will be taking on more technical tasks, more creative tasks. But one thing AI can't replace is like the people skills. Like no matter how efficient the AI becomes, like the conversation or like having the understanding between two people, that AI can't replace that. So improving on the soft skills in the long run will help a lot, I would say, than technical skills. Technical skills would not be needed much. Only technical skills on the part, like to understand what you want the end goal, so that you can prompt to an AI and that will do. So that would be the next big thing, I would say.
And building your personal brand. So as you were saying, soft skills. So one of the best soft skills is build your personal brand on LinkedIn. So you connect with the right people, post a lot of things in AI on LinkedIn, and then share with people that you have posted. I know people use Substack as a way to write out their blogs on different topics. So you can use Substack to write something around AI. On a monthly basis, you can have your own LinkedIn newsletter where you put down different things that you have learned around AI. So you can share it out with your network. So in that way, what you're doing is you're becoming an expert, or you're building your personal brand around AI. And I think personal branding is going to be one of the biggest things that will differentiate you from others, because a lot of the times, Shubham, you might be knowing this, that if you are doing a podcast, somehow people then relate you with the podcast and say, if I need any podcasting tips, I'll reach out to Shubham. So you become your personal brand then is around podcast. And you can always do that. You can always sell different things as a part of your brand.
Yeah, and I think that would kind of be in high demand in the next coming years, more than the technical skills. Like your personal brand and soft skills would be highlighted more. Like
So maybe don't be worried, just learn and adapt it. Right?
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Have a flexible mindset and, be ready to adapt. I think that's a very easy skill to say, but it's very difficult to implement. So when I say adaptability, a lot of times people think it's very easy. I can easily adapt. I've come from different countries here. But when you actually execute it, it's very hard, because you have to change your mindset for that, and you have to learn new things and be ready to learn. It's not like 30 years ago when our parents used to learn certain things after the uni, and they're like, we're done. We don't want to study after this, and we don't want to learn. You can still be fine, but now you can't say that. Even if you have studied something at uni, you still have to continuously learn and adapt with the culture, with the learning scenarios, so you can become better.
Right. That's completely true. Okay, that brings us to the end of the podcast. So thanks, Saurabh. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights, your experience, and your advice.
Pleasure and mine.
Thanks, Ethan, for coming onto the podcast and sharing your inquisitive questions. And I hope everyone in the uni or who are studying or wanting to go into this area would benefit from the questions that you ask.
That's it.
Oh, thanks both of you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning into our podcast and hearing out our guest speaker, Saurabh, who is giving advice and he'll share his experiences and insight in the sales and marketing space, and also talked about how was his journey when he came to Australia, and how he went up to creating his own community startup. So if you found this podcast interesting and if you found it beneficial, please share it with your friends who might benefit from it. And please subscribe to our channel. And if you want to be part of the podcast, please click the link in the description. Share us your idea why you want to be on the podcast, and we might invite you to be a next student or a next young professional who would be on our podcast asking questions to our guest. We would love to have you on our podcast. All right, see you. Thanks.